The Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway ran between Bath Green Park and Bournemouth West stations and was formed by the amalgamation of the Somerset Central and Dorset Central Railways in 1862. It was a joint line because the Midland Railway, later the LMS and Midland Region of British Railways, provided the motive power, and the London South Western Railway, later the Southern Railway, then British Railways Southern Region, providing the coaching stock. Boarding a stopping train, we travelled to Evercreech Junction, where we changed trains to travel up the branch to Highbridge, although this was the original main line from Bournemouth to Burnham-on-Sea. Our journey back to Evercreech Junction is via the East Somerset Railway to Witham on the Great Western West of England main line. Rejoining the stopping train, we travelled to Templecombe and watched the coming and goings at the joint station on the ex-Southern Railway's main line to the west. Returning by stopping train to Bath Green Park, on the 6th of March 1966 we joined a special last train for the journey south to Bournemouth Central, by then the only station still open. We view workings at Poole and Parkston and watch trolleybuses between Bournemouth and Christchurch, together with scenes of the Seaside Cliff Railway. A nostalgic look back at Bournemouth West Station completes our programme. The Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway was a line with great traditions and unusual operating problems, and left you either indifferent or with a fierce and fervent allegiance to it. Under the sharply curved roof of the 1878 Bristol Temple Mead Station, built to route southbound trains away from the original 1845 Brunel terminus, situated to the left and out of sight in this view, Collet 060 number 2215 of Swindon runs light engine, and Grange class number 6844 Pennard Grange of Llanellishead backs onto its train. Double-chimneyed County class County of Montgomery number 1021 leaves its train in the platform and runs forward at the north end. A crew-based Royal Scot number 46166 London Rifle Brigade backs empty coaches out of the station towards the carriage sidings. County of Montgomery continues to shunt, as Cardiff Canton-based Grange class number 6833 Calcott Grange arrives on a stopping train. One of the station pilots, 262 Tank number 6147 of St Philip's Marsh Shed, Bristol, eases onto a rake of empty coaches. A Paddington Bristol Express arrives, with Old Oak Common Sheds number 5001 Llandovery Castle in charge. With much excitement on the platform, Preserve Gresley Pacific number 4472 Flying Scotsman arrives on an Ian Allen Special composed of Pullman cars. As a southbound freight rattles past, a Portsmouth-Cardiff working departs behind number 4922 Enville Hall, also a St Philip's Marsh-based engine. Saltley Birmingham-based Class 5 number 44981 struggles with its empty stock train on the sharp curves. Joining a Bath-bound DMU, we run through Saltford Tunnel, then Twerton Tunnel with its castellated entrances, and past Bath Great Western Goods Yard, with Southern Pacific No. 34002 Salisbury of Basingstoke Shed on a civil engineering train. Arriving at Bath Spa Station over the 600-yard St James Viaduct, No. 5088 Dartmouth Castle of Swindon Shed is on another Portsmouth-Cardiff interval train. With a brief glimpse of some of the City of Bath's delights, we arrive at Bath Green Park Station, the northern terminus of the Somerset and Dorset Joint Railway line. Bath Green Park was the final name of the original Midland station at the end of the 10-mile-long branch from Mangotsfield, Bristol. Shared jointly with the Somerset and Dorset, it only had two platform faces, the centre two roads being for engine release and storage. British Railways Standard Class 3 262 tank No. 82037, another St Philip's Marsh loco, has been borrowed and is heading a Templecombe to Bath Green Park stopping train. A Swindon-designed loco, all the class members allocated to the Western region were painted green. Running down the bank from Devonshire Tunnel to join the Bristol line at Bath Junction is Bristol Barrow Road 4F, No. 44523. On shed are members of the ex-Midland Railway 1914 Derby-built 280 freight locos, including 53806 and 8. As can be seen, Bath Green Park shed was very cramped, complicated moves having to be made to reach the turntable. Beyond the 7F, pannier tank No. 3742 drifts through Bath Junction with a freight from Twerton Corp's coal and bakery sidings, some 3/4 of a mile up the climb to Devonshire Tunnel. The 7F freight locos, as well as being master of the freight traffic on the line, also work summer holiday extras from Bath to Bournemouth and return. A DMU runs into the arrival platform, but both this and the departure platform were signalled for working in both directions. The girders form part of the Avon Bridge, as the river runs underneath at this point. Class 8F No. 48436 and 7F No. 53809 were Green Park engines. Joining the 09:53 AM train to Bournemouth, we run past the shed, with 3F tank No. 47496 and 7Fs 53806 and 53807 by the water softener, and at the end of the siding by Bridge Road is withdrawn 2P 440 No. 60700. Climbing the 1 in 50 incline behind Standard Class 5 No. 73092 with Bellots Road Bridge on the left, we pass over the Great Western Bath to Bristol line. Passing through the 447-yard single-bore Devonshire Tunnel, we approach the mile-long Combe Down Tunnel, which, though now closed, has its southern end left open to enable bats to nest in it. Passing Midford Castle, we run down over the defunct Limpley Stoke Camerton branch, on which the Titfield Thunderbolt film was made. Radstock had both the Somerset and Dorset station and a Great Western station on the Bristol-Frome line, either side of Wellow Brook, which ran down the valley. With 3 collieries generating traffic and summer Saturday extras, the level crossings on both lines could cause traffic jams for miles. Crossing over the Bristol-Frome line, we climb at 1 in 50 to Midsummer Norton, where Bath Sheds 3F tank number 47465, used for banking trains from Radstock, is shunting in the sidings. At Evercreech Junction, 4F class number 44560 of Templecombe Shed is making up a train. Even on a wet day, Evercreech Junction, 26.5 miles from Bath, was an attractive station. Although the up-platform buildings were timber-built, the main buildings on the down line were of stone and included a large station master's house. Arriving from Bath is another stopping train behind Standard Class 4 number 75023 with a horse box behind its tender, probably for Wincanton races. She departs in a cloud of steam, and we join Collet 060 number 2204 and 2 coaches for a journey to Highbridge. Running through Pill Station, we arrive at West Pennard. Nearly at the bottom of a 4-mile long bank of 1 in 86, the station was 2 miles from its village. The engine driver conveniently stops near the signal box, so tokens for single-track running can be exchanged. These give authority to proceed on the next part of our journey on the single-track line. Rounding a curve with Snow's sawmills on the left, we run over Dye House Lane level crossing and arrive in Glastonbury and Street Station. This was the junction for the S&D branch to Wells, closed in October 1951. It was also the headquarters of the company from 1861 to 1877. Passing Ivatt 262 tank 41296 on an opposite working, we roll under the extensive canopies on the platform. A sister loco to our train engine, number 2217, shunts the extensive goods yard, a large parcel traffic originating here from Moreland Footwear. Being held briefly at a stop signal, we roll gently into Ashcott Station's single platform. Chapwick had a passing loop and 2 platforms. Eddington Birtle Station was the junction for Bridgewater. A coal merchant backs coal from the railway truck into his Austin lorry. The Bridgewater line was closed and lifted by 1956. Basin Bridge, with the River Brew alongside, also had a single platform, but the United Dairies milk factory in the rear kept this part of the line to Highbridge open until 1972 with milk tanks to London. Highbridge was home to the locomotive building works of the S&D, but this was closed in 1930. Originally, the line continued across the Great Western Bristol to Taunton main line to Burnham-on-Sea. A Collet 060 transfers civil engineers trucks from the S&D sidings at Highbridge Wharves into the Great Western Yard to the left of the Bristol line. A lookout protects the diagonal crossing from Highbridge Station to the wharves. The line on to Burnham-on-Sea had been closed to passengers in 1951 and goods in 1963. The S&D's original purpose was to give a quick and safe passage for goods and passengers to and from the continent via Poole and Burnham harbours to Wales, avoiding the dangerous passage round Land's End. Over 100 ships were wrecked on the southwest coasts in 1832. Taunton Shed's modified Hall, 7909 Heavingham Hall, heads for Bristol as 2219 waits departure for our return to Evercreech Junction. During the last war, large numbers of sidings were laid on the north side of the line at Highbridge to accommodate the build-up of the American forces prior to D-Day. 4F Class number 44558, a long-time resident of Bath Green Park Shed, shunts trucks around the yards. Collet 060 number 2212 arrives on the 1:15 p.m. from Evercreech Junction at 2:12. At 2:20 we get the right away from the guard and start our return journey. Collecting the single-track token from the signalman, we pass Highbridge Shed and the old works buildings on our right. It always surprises me that one thing the S&D carried a lot of for onward passage to Wales was Caerphilly cheese, made in Somerset as it still is today. Retracing our journey into Glastonbury and Street Station, we can see where the line from Wells ran alongside to the right onto the station. Running through the old Somerset and Dorset station at Wells, we arrive at Shepton Mallet High Street, on the line from Yatton Junction to Witham on the Great Western Main Line from Paddington to the west of England. The fireman of Pannier Tank number 9612 of Westbury Shed on a Witham to Yatton Junction train gives up the single line token to allow us to proceed. Passing Witham on a busy summer Saturday, our 4703 heading west on a heavy holiday extra, a North British Warship class diesel hydraulic loco heading east, and a British Railways Warship class diesel hydraulic loco on the Cornish Riviera Express to Penzance. The Ivat tank loco runs round its train during a lull in traffic. Then a Castle loco roars towards Swindon and Paddington. (260) number 5358 of Westbury heads home, followed by another Warship class diesel. Rejoining our train from Bath, we arrive at Templecombe, with the Bournemouth line dropping down past the Somerset and Dorset Shed to pass under the Southern Region's main line from Waterloo to Exeter. Rounding the curve, we run into Platform 3, the north face of the main line island platform used by Somerset and Dorset trains. An early morning express for Exeter and the West races through the station as stirrings are made in the shed. Looking down from Coombe-Throop Road, two 7F280 locos are made ready. Behind the old Dorset Central station master's house, the spur to Upper Station climbs at 1 in 100. The original Dorset Central station opened here in 1861, but closed when the connecting spur opened in 1870. Parts of the original platform face can still be seen. Templecombe Lower Platform was built alongside the Bournemouth line between Coombe-Throop Road Bridge and the ex-London South Western Main Line Bridge in 1887, when the original station became the engine yard. The brick-built loco shed opened in 1951, replacing the original wooden one. In 1950, the lower goods yard closed, all workings then using the upper yard west of Templecombe Station. Passing the truncated original spur, which joined the London South Western Main Line towards Salisbury and now used for coal wagon storage, another express heads west. Passengers using a more direct means of travel home are released at the west end of the island platform. Bulleid Battle of Britain Pacific 34051 Winston Churchill of Salisbury Shed departs with the 0854 ex-Waterloo to Exeter, with through coaches to Ilfracombe and Plymouth. 34110 66 Squadron of Exmouth Junction Shed is on the 0900 ex-Waterloo, with through coaches to Sidmouth, Exmouth and Seaton. On the 1015 ex-Waterloo, with through coaches to Ilfracombe and Torrington, is 34056 Croydon, also of Salisbury Shed. One of Templecombe's pannier tanks, number 3720, shunts a Southern Region coach across the main lines from the up to the down sidings, as Ivet 262 tank, number 41242, a sister resident, waits with empty stock. Monsell designed S15 460 number 30823 with 8-wheel tender of Salisbury Shed is on a Salisbury to Yeovil stopping train. She uncouples to collect the coach put in the sidings by the pannier tank. The London-bound Atlantic Coast Express has 34067 Tangmere, also of Salisbury Shed, in charge on its 172-mile journey. .30823 departs on her leisurely schedule of 1 hour 28 minutes for the 31-mile long journey with 10 stops. .41242 also departs to Evercreech Junction, her 9-mile journey being allowed 23 minutes. With the bells of St Mary's Church ringing out, number 2219 runs past ready to pilot out a Bath-Bournemouth train. All S&D trains stopping at Templecombe having to reverse in or out. Standard Class 5 73047 of Bath Green Park arrives, and 2219 moves on to the end of her train. The 11:55 a.m. limited stop train from Bath is pulled back to number 2 junction, where 2219 will be uncoupled, and 73047 will continue its 71.5-mile journey to Bournemouth West, taking a leisurely 3 hours to do it. Merchant Navy Pacific 35020 Bibby Line of 9 Elms Shed, London, arrives on the 11:45 ex-Waterloo to Exmouth, with through coaches to Sidmouth. Standard Class 5, number 73092 of Gloucester Barnwood Shed is a stranger, obviously having been borrowed by Bath Shed to work an extra in August 1963. Southern Pacific's, though excellent engines, were very light on their feet and needed delicate handling. .34086 of Exmouth Junction Shed, Exeter, heads for London. Sister Loco 34057 Biggin Hill of Salisbury Shed rolls a non-stop Saturday extra westwards, closely followed by the original Bulleet Pacific 35001 Channel Packet of Nine Elms Shed on a similar working. Exmouth Junction's 34036 Westward Ho pauses with the 1130 ex Brighton to Plymouth Express. Pausing at the Templecombe lower platform for a crew change is Doncaster designed Standard Class 4 260 number 76026 at Bournemouth Shed. The Whittaker automatic tablet exchanger, which revolutionised speed on the S&D, can be seen projecting from the tender side. With a single line tablet now in place, she pulls under Coombe-Throop Road Bridge and up the 1 in 100 to number 2 junction, where it will be collected by the ground level catcher. A similar working is pulled back by 41241 into Templecombe Station, this time headed by sister shedmate number 76015. After departure to Bath Green Park, a southbound train arrives behind Bath Shed Standard Class 5 number 73052. This train has collected 2 loaded milk tanks from the Cow and Gate factory at Wincanton. They will be shunted and attached to a train to London later in the day. Wearing an exceptionally clean jacket, the shunter prepares to couple up a parcels van from the Island platform's West End loading dock, which is then placed by another Templecombe pannier, number 4691, in the down sidings. This view, showing Templecombe's Art Deco signal box, built in 1938, has enough detail in it to keep a modeller happy for years. Having placed vans onto the rear of a Salisbury-bound train in the platform, 4691 makes her way into the up sidings. Shift change, and a different Collet 060 number 3200 arrives to pilot the S&D passenger trains. (34080) 74 Squadron departs smartly with a working home to Exeter. With 120 of these useful Class 3 mixed traffic locos being built from 1930, there was hardly a secondary or branch shed that did not have one on its books. Joining a train from Bournemouth, we see a single-line tablet being given up at the end of a section. Running under the Southern Main Line, we were pulled back into Templecombe and now depart for Bath. Behind Bath, Standard Class 3 tank number 82004. We meet 9F number 92220 of Bath Shed on an extra, which will run direct to Bournemouth West, with Standard Class 5 number 73054 on the stopping train. Near Wincanton, S&D 7F number 53807 rolls north with a freight. LMS Ginty 3F tank number 47542 of Templecombe Shed clatters past. And hard on her heels, Standard Class 5 number 73052 is on a northbound stopping train. Departing from Cole Station, we pass over the Great Western Main Line from Witham to Taunton and run into Evercreech Junction. (9F number 92000, transferred to Bath Green Park for the summer, is in the down platform. Coasting in is the Pines Express, with 2P number 40634, formerly Somerset and Dorset number 45, one of the 3440s built for the railway by the LMS in 1929. She is piloting West Country Pacific number 34041 Wilton of Bournemouth Shed. The pilot comes off and the long train pulls forward up the short platform. Climbing at 1 in 50, we cross Priestley Viaduct with the village below. The cut-in just before the gradient falls into Shepton Mallet is known as Canard's Grave, Canard being a mythical giant. On Saturday the 25th of July 1962, the holiday traffic was heavy. Standard Class 4 75009 of Templecombe and double-chimneyed 9F 92210 of Bath double-head the 13-coach Pines Express. A 10-coach Leeds fully loaded extra has Standard Class 5 73047 of Bath Shed and double chimney Standard Class 4 75072 of Templecombe in charge. (9F 92004 from Bristol Barrow Road Shed is on 8 more fully loaded coaches to Sheffield. S&D 7F number 53810 is on a Bournemouth-Birmingham train. And Standard Class 5 number 73051, also of Bath, is on a Bournemouth-Bristol train. I wouldn't think the canard got much sleep with that lot going past. Continuing the climb under the bridge we filmed from, which carries the Fosse Way, the gradient eases and we roll down into Shepton Mallet Station. Here were quarry sidings and the headquarters of the line's signal inspector. Windsor Hill had two tunnels, the new of 126 yards which we passed through, and the old on the down line of 239 yards. Windsor Hill signal box, which originally controlled quarry sidings at each side of the line, was the only box entirely built of stone. Masbury Halt was the nominal summit of the line at 811 feet and had been on staff since 1938. During the Second World War, a large United States Army camp was situated on the downside with appropriate sidings. We coast down the 3 miles at 1 in 63 to Binnegar Station. Binnegar's goods shed was once a store on the 2-mile-long 3-foot gauge Oak Hill Brewery Railway, on which stout was brought for onwards conveyance until the brewery line closed in 1921. Passing under the Chilcompton to Gurney Road Bridge, we accelerate rapidly down the hill, with Templecombe Standard Class 4 75073 on the opposite 4:35 p.m. ex-Bath stopping train. With a whistled warning, we run through Chilcompton Tunnel. Passing through the southern portal of Combe Down Tunnel, we run over the Great Western Bristol Line and into Green Park Station. Condemned is written on this guards van, and with the rerouting of the Pines Express via Oxford in September 1962, the whole line was condemned. 92243 was withdrawn and the last of the S&D 7Fs withdrawn in October 1964. Fortunately, numbers 53808 and 9 are preserved. 8F 48706 struggles to start on the greasy rails. The 6th of March 1966 and 48706 and 80043 are preparing to take the last passenger train from Bath Green Park to Bournemouth. Both engines were withdrawn that month and closure of sheds and stations took place on the 7th of March. After backing in the empty stock, a special start was made for photographers. Joining the special train, we climb the 1 in 50 up to Devonshire Tunnel. Looking back for the last time over Bath and the Avon Valley, Kelston Roundhill can be seen on the skyline. Running through Midford Station, we continue the steady climb to Radstock. After running over Shoscombe Viaduct and passing Rithlington distance signal, we stop at the signal box and set back over a crossover onto the Up Main. Rithlington had 3 collieries supplying coal for transport on the S&D, the last one not closing until 1973. Even then, coal extraction from the colliery tips continued for several years. Running wrong line, we reached Radstock, originally the centre for the Somerset mining industry. With the British Wagon Company's works and Radstock shed on the left, and the court building above the engines, we run into Radstock North Station. The trucks through the trees are at Radstock Great Western Station, the other side of Wellow Brook. Passing Radstock North B signal box, which control the level crossing on the busy A367 road, we start the climb at 1:50 up to Midsummer Norton. The reason for our wrong line running now becomes apparent: the slewing of the down line to join the ex-Great Western Spur to enable coal to continue to be transported to Bristol via Frome and Westbury. At Midsummer Norton we regain our correct running line. Taking a photographic stop at Shepton Mallet, a good view of the 317-yard-long Charlton Viaduct to the north is seen from the footbridge. Beyond this is the 118-yard Bath Viaduct, which collapsed in a gale in 1946 and took 6 months to rebuild. Note where the 8F was built, by the Southern Railway at Brighton in 1944 for the LNER, number 7652, handed over to the LMS in 1946. Passing under the Great Western Line from Yatton Junction to Witham via Shepton Mallet High Street Station, we climb at 1:60, then 1:70, before running into Evercreech Junction. The unusual type of signal was peculiar to the S&D, allowing trains to set back wrong line. Running over the entrance to the compact goods yard on the left, we stop for water. After the 8F has taken water, the train is eased forward to allow 80043 to have a drink. Great detail for modellers. Leaving Evercreech Junction, we run over the gentle switchbacks to pass Cole Station, which was where the Somerset Central Railway met the Dorset Central Railway in 1862 to form the Somerset and Dorset. Climbing steadily through the glorious countryside, we pass Pitcombe Village, then Shepton Village, before running under Shepton Montague Bridge to descent to Wincanton. Pulling up the spur, we enter Templecombe Station, where another photographic stop was taken. Templecomb's Ivat Class 2 262 tank number 41249, seen earlier, has coupled on and is pulling our train back clear of number 2 junction to allow us to proceed on the single line southwards. (41249) having uncoupled and gone on shed, we accelerate down the single line. Passing Stallbridge, the first station in Dorset, we swing off the passing loop and back onto the main line. Crossing the River Stour, which joins the sea at Hengistbury Head, Christchurch, we reach Blandford Forum. The branch to Blandford Camp, which swung east just south of the station, saw several openings and closures over the years. Special coaches were added to trains in connection with Blandford School's turn times. Baileygate was the station for the junction of lines at Corfe-Mullen. The original line from Wimborne, closed in 1933, and Broadstone, the new direct line, opened in 1885. Climbing up at 1 in 80, we swing through Broadstone Station, the end of the Somerset and Dorset proper, the rest of the journey being over the London South Western Railway metals. Pacific 34057 Biggin Hill, another of the last day's engines, runs past. Joining the Weymouth line at Holes Bay Junction, we reach Poole Station. Whilst filming and recording the railways out of Waterloo in June 1967, a Gresley chime whistle marked the departure of preserved A4 4498 Sir Nigel Gresley from the London terminus. On the 3rd and 4th she made consecutive runs to Weymouth and return. Here she rolls round the curves of Poole Station on Sunday the 4th on her way west. One of the Southern Region's Hampshire units departs on the 1:40 p.m. Poole to Weymouth service. Arriving on the 4:43 p.m. ex-Weymouth and passing Poole's marshalling yards is the now preserved Merchant Navy Pacific 35028 Clan Line. Looking across Holes Bay, an offshoot of Poole Harbour, Hamworthy Power Station can be seen, with timber yards in front of it. With views over Poole Harbour, we board a diesel multiple unit and start the climb at 1 in 60 to Parkston Station, 69 miles from Bath. Working hard at Parkston Bank with the 4 p.m. ex-Weymouth to Waterloo Channel Islands Boat Express is 34001 Exeter of Nine Elms Shed. The banker on the 13-vehicle train from Poole to Bournemouth Central is a Sulzer engine Type 3 diesels D6530. Templecomb's Standard Class 4, number 75007, is on the Saturday's only 1 p.m. ex-Templecombe to Bournemouth West. At one time, a line ran from Parkston Goods Yard on the right down for a mile to Rag & Sons Southwestern Pottery Works on Pottery Road and to a pier at Salterns on Poole Harbour. On another day, the 4:43 p.m. ex-Weymouth produced 35023 of Nine Elms Shed, a very clean Holland Africa line. Rushing down the bank is double chimney Standard Class 4 number 75076 of Basingstoke Shed. An extremely unusual visitor was Standard Class 5 number 73037 of Carlisle Kingmore Shed, obviously being borrowed by a shedmaster more than once to arrive at Bournemouth on the 0749 ex-Weymouth stopping train. Parkston for Sandbanks, the station name board says. Sandbanks being the promontory between the sea and the entrance to Poole Harbour. Weymouth Sheds 35005 Canadian Pacific runs down the bank with a parcels train, this loco also being preserved. Preserved Sir Nigel Gresley, number 4498, returns from its run to Weymouth on another glorious summer's day. The steam banker, Ivat Class 2 tank number 41320, specially turned out by Bournemouth Shed, seems content to let the A4 do the work. Continuing up Parkston Bank, we run through Branksome Station and Junctions, formerly the turning off point to Bournemouth West, now stabling sidings for electric stock on the Waterloo services. The third side of the triangular junction, the tightly curved viaduct over Surgery and Gordon Roads, has had the rails taken out as far as the Gasworks signal box. Running under Wimborne Road, we arrive at Bournemouth Central. The West Country Pacific is 34029 Lundy. With the shed being just behind the station and in a residential area, noise and smoke control was essential. Standard Class 4260 number 76031 had been a Stratford East London loco, then at Cambridge, March and Brighton sheds, before moving to Guildford, Basingstoke and back to Guildford. Here she arrives from Poole. The Dorset Limited was a cheap-priced return shopping excursion to London, from all stations from Weymouth to Bournemouth, then non-stop in each direction. 35007 Aberdeen Commonwealth of Weymouth Shed is in charge. The running lines were bi-directional from Branksome in the west to Bournemouth East signal box, the far side of Holdenhurst Road Bridge. Brush Type 4 diesel D1821 brings in the empty stock of the Bournemouth Bell Pullman car train, ready for departure to London at 4:37 p.m. West Country Pacific 34006 Bude, still resplendent after its last run on the Somerset and Dorset, runs off shed. Arriving on a Weymouth-Waterloo Express is sister loco 34009 Lyme Regis. After the third rail electrification reached Bournemouth in 1967, one of the new Wessex 10-car electric sets is on a running in-turn. In contrast, Bournemouth sheds stand at Class 4 80011 runs under Holdenhurst Bridge on a stopping train from East Leigh. The Wessex departs, the run being used to test both train and third rail installation. Moving around the square in the centre of Bournemouth's shopping area, Corporation dual-door trolleybuses mix with the green Bristol K double-decker of the Hanson Dorset Bus Company. Climbing out of the square up Commercial Road past my green 3-litre Rover on the right and turning into the triangle are 1961 Sunbeam 63-seat trolleybuses with Wayman bodies. A Wolseley 1500 runs past a parked Hillman Imp van which was fitted with a rear underfloor Coventry Climax engine. A Fort Thames van crosses behind. On the right, two of Charlie's cars Harrington-bodied underfloor engined Albions are seen, with another Hanson Dorset Bristol K-Class negotiating the corner. A Bristol LS single-decker heads an Austin A40, a Morris Minor and a Standard 8. A Morris Minor pickup leads a Park Royal-bodied Sunbeam 6-wheel trolleybus, fleet number 208. A lovely Jowett Javelin saloon heads up Old Christchurch Road, followed by a sister six-wheeler. A 1939-built Leyland TD5 double-decker has an enclosed radiator, whilst a sister TD5, fleet number 21, has an exposed one. A Volvo Amazon 122 saloon overtakes a Hanson Dorset 1948 AEC Regent 3 double-decker, which is followed by a 1952 Bristol K. At Southcote Road, the old tram sheds now house trolley and motor buses. A 1949 Burlingham-bodied Leyland coach pulls across the yard. The adapted bus carries a platform for trolley wire inspection. I am unable to identify the depot manager's black saloon parked next to the grey Ford Popular. A six-wheel Sunbeam trolleybus eases cautiously out of the garage exit. An Austin Royal Mail van turns off Old Christchurch Road as a four-wheeler heads for Winton and a six-wheeler to Christchurch. At Christchurch, just off the High Street, a turntable was installed for turning them for their return journey. Fisherman's Walk at Boscombe. With a rough sea running and a strong wind blowing, walkers are glad of a little shelter as they ride up and down the Cliff Railway. Warren Hill on Hengistbury Head can be seen in the distance. At Bournemouth West Station on Queen's Road, West Country Pacific 34022 Exmoor departs with the 11:16 a.m. train to Oxford, Banbury, Rugby Central, Leicester Central, Nottingham Victoria, Sheffield Victoria, Rotherham, Pontefract and York. Pushing her empty stock train back up to Branksome carriage sidings is sister loco 34071 601 Squadron. Branksome Junction and Shed were about 3/4 of a mile from West Station up a gradient of 1 in 90. Rattling past is Station Pilot British Railway Standard Class 3 262 tank number 82027. The British Railway Standard coal truck is from Branksome and is on her way down to pick up station refuse. Standard Class 4 264 tank 80146, reversing her train to pass through the carriage washing plant, is also a Bournemouth engine. Having collected the empty stock from the 923X Salisbury, 82027 accelerates up the hill. Maunsell designed U-Class number 31632, built in 1928, of Yeovil Shed, having had her empty stock removed, makes her way to Branksome to turn on the triangle. (34024) Tamar Valley arrives with the Bournemouth West portion of a Waterloo-Weymouth train detached at Central Station, and Double Chimney Standard Class 4 number 75073 of Templecombe Shed departs over the Somerset and Dorset route with the 1:10 p.m. stopping train to Bath Green Park. More empty stock arrives and Tamar Valley propels its train up to Branksome. (31632), having been turned ready for her return work into Salisbury, pushes the truck down a siding. (82027) moves more empty stock from an arrival up the hill. Before transferring to Bournemouth in 1963, she had been shedded at Kirby Stephen, Darlington, Malton, Scarborough and York. Train engine Standard Class 4 260 number 76027 of Bournemouth Shed reverses out to take its turn at moving empty stock. Starting her slow journey home, heading the 4:50 p.m. stopping train to Salisbury, number 31632 will take an hour and 32 minutes for the 38.25 mile journey, at a pace very similar to trains on the Somerset and Dorset route.